What is this for? Okay,
And we are rolling. How's it going, man?
good man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, dude. I'm doing
Nee,
fine.
nee, 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 nee.
Batman. Do you remember that? Man,
Of course.
that was the corniest Batman. If you remember, we had like we used to get.
Which one? This is the George Clooney Batman. Which one is this?
No, this is the show.
This is that. Oh yeah, yeah. It used to come on Cartoon
Yeah,
Network.
those guys to literally be wearing tights, like
Oh yes.
complete full. That was a weird time for Batman. I was really
Huh.
into it though. I don't know why. I think it was just Batman was cool, just the fact that he wore a mask.
And then, I mean, you're wearing a mask these days, so you're cool after 30 years, Shivam. Yeah.
Where's my mask, man? What are you talking-
I mean, you go out. I hope you're wearing a mask.
Oh, that mask. Yeah, yeah. No, I was thinking you're talking about like a Batman style mask. No,
But I mean, you could legit wear a Batman mask and go out because it would be socially acceptable these days, right?
no,
And you're
that's
being safe. No,
what the fuck is
Batman's
wrong with
mouth
this?
is open.
It's the complete opposite of what you're supposed to be wearing in this
Oh shit!
situation. Your
Yeah,
eyes
yeah,
are wide
yeah. You
open.
could you could do like a Spider-Man mask
You could, but why would you, man?
or Bane mask. Oh, I'd
Ooh.
totally wear a Bane mask.
Yeah, surprisingly, you're the second guy this week to bring up Bane mask on this
No,
on this
I think yeah,
podcast.
it's not a very original thought.
Yeah.
We've all thought of it.
Anyway, man, how
But what would be a mask that you would want to wear?
what would be a mask that I'd want to wear? I don't know, man. I'd probably, there's this, those Green Man costumes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
complete, like the complete. I don't know what the unitards, I think they're called. So
Uh-huh.
I would want to wear one of those, man.
And run around. No, I meant for like Corona, keeping Corona away. But sure, this is great to know.
Dude, I was thinking about it. I was thinking of getting one of those oxygen deprivation masks.
How do you get them? I don't know if you get them here.
You
Wait, oxygen deprivation in the sense it gives you oxygen, right?
No, the opposite. It kind of restricts the amount of oxygen that you
This
get.
is for when you exercise.
Yeah, but again, I don't know how to what level it's used. I don't know to how much it's actually used. So that's a problem.
But like, I don't think it'll really help you when you go out in the world, right?
Yeah, no. I was thinking about it from the point of view of working out, but
Yeah.
it
No,
also
I'm
looks
just
really
talking about
heavy.
like safety.
Safety to N95, and also some of my friends really suggested that they basically get one which has a special cover right between their nose and lips and between their
This is
chin.
the scientific way. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you were to spice things up,
If you were to spice things up, I wouldn't wear a mask, man.
yeah, my
Yeah, this is
child.
America. Yeah.
Life in America, you become too like out
Walk
of control once you move there, man.
walk around sneezing on grapes in the supermarket. Fucking hell, man. Dude, you won't believe this, but the other day, a few months back, I was actually watching your video, man. Uh, happened by a complete accident. I was at work
Hmm.
on university campus, and all of a sudden, Robin Schulz
Oh, how cool! It
came
played
up,
on
man.
like the big screen there.
No, it came as part of a playlist, and I ran
Oh,
out.
damn cool!
And I ran
Oh,
out.
damn
I was
cool!
like, "Hey, how come you guys playing this?" And the lady at the front desk was all confused, like, "This is a random playlist. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, no," because my friend was in this video, and she's like,
Oh,
"Oh, that's crazy.
uh,
That's insane,
yeah, no,
man.
it's damn popular. Nadal played it when he won some match.
Are you serious?"
You don't know this?
No, I
Of course,
don't.
you've seen I put it on my story,
No, I didn't know this. He played it.
and like they played it. You know, once you win a match, you can like choose to play what song you want
Right.
in the
No,
background.
I
So
never
he
knew.
chose this song at one point.
Dude, I didn't
I'll
know.
send you a little clipping of it.
That's crazy. I didn't know tennis players could do that, by the way.
Even I didn't until this happened.
Yeah,
Or maybe it was just that particular match.
that's crazy, man. But do people like reach out to you like randomly from across the world saying, "Bro, I saw you"?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really, I mean, of course, it happened more when it just came out. But really, like, very like random countries. Because I think it's also like, he's popular in like South America, of course, Europe.
Yeah,
America, India, not so much. But like, yeah, it's quite exciting the kind of messages I get.
that's crazy. Like, has it ever happened that someone saw the video before they saw you post about it? So, like, were they like confused? Like, holy shit, is that Rohit? Like, did that?
Yeah. A lot of people.
That's insane, man. That
Uh,
must have been crazy.
but like a small percentage of people, like depending on like because in India, like I think the EDM scene, EDM, right? It's counted, right?
You should know,
I'm
man. I
not.
don't know.
I should. I should. This is not something I should be confirming on the show. But like that
Yeah,
electronic kind of scene is not like there is. It's a niche audience, right? So
yeah,
within
yeah.
that audience, everyone's like, "Oh, damn cool."
Yeah, yeah. I really
But
hadn't heard of Robin Schulz till you told me that you're going to be on his video. So
I mean, I had, but like I knew he was there,
yeah,
but I didn't know so much about him.
right.
And I'm sure you've heard of his other tracks as well.
No, I heard his other tracks after hearing yours, and then I was like,
But I'm
okay,
sure you've heard them play somewhere.
I'm sure I must have, man. He seems to be a pretty famous guy. Did you get to meet him, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
What was that like, man?
Damn cool. He's quite a chill guy. Like proper like rock star vibes going on.
Yeah.
In fact, they called me a night before they were staying at Palladium. That time it was Palladium. And they said, "Oh, come, why don't you like chill?" I was like, "No, fuck that. I need to go sleep." Because I didn't realize, like, I thought it would just be a room and they'll. Anyway,
Wait, but why did you
anyway,
have to
like,
sleep though?
because the next day we were shooting. We were shooting at 6
Oh.
a.m. And in fact, we went on till like it was a long shoot.
Oh, so it was like kind of like a discipline thing. It wasn't like a.
No, it was so that I don't have like bags of eyes like below. Like I didn't want to look like tired. No, it goes a really long way, like catching up on sleep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. There have been times where I've been to work. Not my work isn't half as cool as yours, but even then, with bags under my eyes, people get concerned. Is everything okay, Shiva?
Yeah. Is why I scheduled this for the morning for me. I mean, if you have bags of eyes, that's cool.
At my cost.
It's midnight now for you.
Yeah, it is midnight for me. It's actually like 1 a.m. for me.
But you wake up at this time and you do everything at this time.
Yeah. I've actually kind of corrected my sleep schedules a little bit, but yeah, I'm fine with sleeping by like a little bit later. It's fine, no problem.
Really, how have you managed to correct your sleep schedule? Please give us pointers.
Dude, your sleep schedule is perfect, man. What do you want to change?
I just want to like sometimes like right now I'm like getting up at like 10 a.m.
Right.
And then and sleeping at 2 a.m. So I would like to make it like at least 12 to 8. And I'm finding that a bit hard. But recently, like just day one of no help, our help has left. So today morning I automatically got up on time. Also because I had to do like stuff before I got onto this.
That's great.
So I guess just like, having like household stuff to do is going to like improve it.
Yeah, man. So what I've been doing, what really helped me is actually melatonin.
You're actually popping the melatonin pill.
Yeah, I'm having it.
I'm a bit more like not Ayurvedic, but like I'm against sort of not against, but I try as much not to take external medication.
Yeah. No, so the thing with me is that like even through like 1 a.m. or 1:30, like for example, I'm having this conversation. After this conversation, I'm obviously going to be energized. But the problem is that when I'm in an energized state, it takes me longer to go to sleep. And I'm very usually energized.
So I have a whole lot of friends who I don't talk to at night because they're too like exciting.
Yeah.
Right before I sleep. No, seriously.
It's their curse. Like,
because they're like, oh, we'll do this and we'll do this. And then, your mind is like, okay, now I'm not going to get sleep.
So you only call the boring ones in the night, huh? Like,
like the more sort of mellow ones who have like,
hi Rohit, thanks for calling me at 11 in the night. I really appreciate it.
They're not that boring. But, yeah. But speaking of melatonin, I've been reading this book.
Oh, which one?
And they speak about how melatonin has anti-aging properties.
Oh, yeah, man. You get
I don't know what page it was on, but
dude, the thing with melatonin, at least which ever since I've had it, I don't have it every day. I have it on those days where I want to be sleeping at the right time. But whenever I do have it, the sleep that I get is unparalleled, man. I just feel like I'm knocked out, but it's not. I've never had sleeping pills, so I don't know what that's like. But the melatonin definitely gives you.
Sleeping pills made up of melatonin?
No, sleeping pills are something else.
Oh yeah, they'd be sort of more hardcore, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they induce that shit like knock you out, like it's like fainting. Your brain may or may not recover from that. And in terms of, it might not help you with your mental recovery, which you need at every night. Are you reading an excerpt on?
I'm trying to find it, but like, because I literally read it 2 nights ago.
It's okay, man. We won't quote you on it. You can talk from the top of your head as well.
I already spoke on the top of my head, and now there's not much more to say about melatonin.
I mean, it's okay. So now that
because
you're rolling,
a lot of like filmy people, like they have such erratic like schedules, no?
That's true.
So a lot of them have melatonin, and
Right.
I can't find this, but if you really want to know, I can try giving it a.
So I found out about it in terms of
a
health
lot of
risks.
people like say have melatonin, but I've just tried to like.
So in terms of health risks and all, there's like melatonin is not. Some people say you get addicted to it. Some people say you get used to it, but.
I remember something like it also said that till 30 your body naturally produces melatonin. After that, it sort of becomes a.
So I think your body has to produce melatonin for you to kind of get sleep, but sometimes it takes longer.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Like, if you artificially induce it, maybe like the things that are already giving you the melatonin might get affected.
No, that's not true about it. They've done studies on it, and your body still produces it, even though you get yourself off it.
I'm still like, I keep away from medication as much as possible.
There were people like you during the Salem witch trials as well, man.
I'm not
mentality.
Anti-vaccine, and I'm not like going crazy like that. But like, if you can sort of like first try to like solve it yourself.
Did you just say you're not an anti-vaxxer?
Okay. I said I'm not like one of those, but I'm saying like if you can sort of figure it out yourself without external aid, then that's better, right?
Wait. So you're saying anti-vaxxing is not legit?
What do you mean anti-vaxxing is not legit? There are people who are anti-vaxxing.
I'm saying is that a good thing or a bad thing according to you?
I mean, that's their like opinion. I'm not that person. I'm in fact, please someone give us a corona vaccine. See, I have been vaccinated against a lot of things.
So if you met someone, okay, supposing you had a kid and you met someone who was anti-vax and had a kid, would you let your kid hang out with that anti-vax kid?
I guess.
Would you let...
If it's a good kid. But also, I mean, my kid is vaccinated against it, right? So why is there...
No, but it's an ideological thing. Like, would you let your kid hang out with that kid and their parents?
Oh, because they like influence his thought process?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I generally believe one should get out in the world and see as much of like different perspectives as you can.
What if those same anti-vaxxers are flat earthers as well?
So then they'll tell him it's flat. I mean, I don't honestly like how does it make a difference? Like, of course it makes a difference, but like the knowledge of it's round or it's flat, it still like looks the same, right?
So are you saying are you saying the earth is flat?
I'm not saying the earth is flat. No, I'm not.
Because that would be, I mean, I would be open to you saying that the earth is flat, man.
But what if it were flat? What if this is all like a conspiracy theory?
That's what flat earthers believe, man.
Yeah, and it could be.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I've never seen the curvature.
You look out your window, it's all straight.
Yeah, and you know what they say that if you look into the horizon far enough, you'll see a curve. Well, I've been to many places and I've looked into the horizon and I never saw a curve, man.
And even if you do see a curve, I think it can easily be sort of like the rays of the sun.
Yeah, it could be the way light responds, So
maybe you should start a flat earther movement.
No, I think that's already started.
Oh, has it? Do they have a podcast?
No, they don't have a podcast yet.
Then they're not quite legit.
But we can ask them
maybe
to join
you should include them. Yeah. Should we like call them now? Do you have any flat earther friends there?
I actually do have one flat earther friend.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He's a very nice guy, man. He's a very nice guy.
And he legit believes the earth is flat.
He shares about it on Facebook at least.
What kind of articles does he share?
Like a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of for some reason a lot of 9/11 theories and flat earthers and stuff. You know what I think it is? It's probably these guys smoke a lot of weed. And weed gets you super paranoid. So these guys who are super paranoid, they get like really skeptical about everything.
So again, there aren't actual studies of weed getting you super paranoid, but it does sort of. Anyways, continue.
No. Finish your thought, man. Tell me, bro.
No. First, let's finish for flat earthers.
So
then we can talk about
I
weed.
think like some people are just like, because I think this individual at least smokes a fuckload of weed. Now, I think that weed can also make you very skeptical and paranoid about things which don't regularly make you skeptical and paranoid. And that could help explain why this is happening, man. But I'm not sure. What do you think about weed, man?
So, I mean, there aren't any scientific studies that actually like link the two of paranoia and that. But there are scientific studies that say that like it screws around with your REM cycle, like your sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Which in turn then could. So likewise, I mean, maybe there aren't direct studies of melatonin not screwing around with your melatonin-inducing cells in your own body. But I would rather try my best not to go there.
That's a big leap, man. You're going from melatonin to weed, man.
Yeah. They're both external substances that help your body induce like the good feeling enzymes. It's just that one is illegal, and it was illegal. You know why weed is illegal, right?
Why?
Because the hippies were having it, and then people were like, at least this is again could be a conspiracy theory, but the hippies were having it, and for them to like catch the hippies, they're like, oh, let's just like.
So weed was, I think, made illegal. Depends on which country you're talking about, because I don't think weed is completely illegal in India, man.
By law, it is.
It is? Okay, but what about like bhang and like government authorized bhang stalls in Rajasthan and all?
India is how India works, man.
What does that mean? There are government sanctioned stalls in Rajasthan. How is that illegal then? Is my only question.
Because like there is like this sort of organized, beautiful chaos that India works in.
Dude,
it's not, no, it is. It's not like 1 + 1 does not equal to 2, but it's still like they get to 2.
You're a damn funny guy, man. You said it's illegal in India.
It is illegal by law. It's illegal.
But how?
But everything happens. I mean, there are so many things that are illegal in India that still happen.
Like, for example, what? Apart from weed.
I mean, you want to turn political, they'll come and like shut down your podcast.
How am I talking about anything political, man? I'm asking you things that were illegal but are still going on in the beautiful chaos that is India, according to you.
What else? I mean, India is known for like, not known for, but like there are like a lot of like corruption scandals. There are a lot of sort of. So like, I'm sure legally like those corruption scandals are not sort of authorized, right?
That's true, man. That's absolutely true.
But it happens.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy that there were some people who outlawed drama and theatre. Just the fact that certain performances, like even that Ismat Chugtai piece that you did, Lihaf, apparently I discovered that it was outlawed for a bit.
Yeah. It was outlawed. She had to go to court and all for it.
That's insane.
Both Manto. And she didn't even like, someone published it later on, but she just wrote it for like her own sort of like, she was in her bedroom just writing stuff that she saw around.
Can you give some backstory for like people who are listening who want to know the backstory of Ismat Chugtai?
Okay, so Ismat Chugtai is like this Urdu writer, one of the like prominent sort of Urdu writers that people even talk about today. Like, you know, from Manto, Ismat Chugtai. And like around independence, she sort of, and she just wrote for herself, and she's known also widely as like a feminist writer.
Yeah.
She talks about, at least Lihaf is about, we did an adaptation of Lihaf for the stage, and Lihaf is about like a relationship between a begum who doesn't get any attention from her husband, and has like this sexual relationship. Like it's very well put. I would really advise you to read it because it's like a 5-page story. Even the English version is pretty good. Right. And she has like this sort of, with her masseuse, her maid, her private maid, and like, so it's kind of like, so a same-sex relationship she's talking about. It's very well done.
So they outlawed this, which like in the 20s and the 30s or like the 50s, 60s?
I think 40s, 50s. And then like someone like obviously like took her to court because you're talking about like a lesbian relationship.
For sedition or some shit, right?
Yeah. And then obviously, and so it's worded so well. She's like, where have I like actually spoken about it?
That's
you can't
crazy.
Even like talk. You can't like hold this against me. It's suggested very well.
Yeah.
But it's not sort of in your face.
That's insane. Yeah, because even when you did the play, like the weird, like the the sex scenes were actually
Yeah.
behind a lihaf. So it was kind of
Yeah, so
like,
that's what happens. Like this little girl is sort of seeing these animals in her sleep. So she has like this relationship with her masseuse, and there's another little girl sleeping in the same room.
yeah,
And the whole story is from the eyes from this little girl, and then she's talking about like how all these she sees all these animals and like how a frog is leaping and all. So like it's very suggestive of like different like
yeah,
sexual activity, but it's not actually saying that it is.
yeah. It leaves it open for interpretation.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. That's a little cat and mouse game that Ismat Chugtai played with the.
Played. But yeah, I think it was just like out of her imagination, and it wasn't sort of like, because yeah, like I mean, I think being explicit about like sex is not so exciting, right?
Not just that, but if she was very explicit about the sex, then she would get like basically taken to court, which actually happened, and found guilty.
Yeah, and not be able to. Yeah.
So that's insane, the fact that she did that. And I'm guessing, was it a very, very popular play eventually or not? Like at that time?
It gained, so I think she barely made any money off it because we went and met her grandson,
Yeah.
and he was telling us she never wrote for it to be published or anything. And she just like first, like I think some publication from Calcutta or something wrote to her and said we're publishing this, and she was so excited that someone's actually reading her stuff. So she
Yeah.
didn't even care about how much money she was getting, or never even like got into like the money side of the deal. So I think she never really made too much money off it.
Right.
She just wrote for the fun of it.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
It's really, yeah, it's quite inspiring.
That's insane. Did you ever get like people like completely flabbergasted by the show? Like, what the fuck did I see? Like people like,
No, so a lot of no, flabber, like I mean,
I
people,
use
a
an
lot of
extreme
like
word,
theater
man.
peeps know theater peeps know about Lihaf, right?
Right.
So when we made it, like a lot of people who already know of Lihaf and are fans of Lihaf came and said, "Oh, this was a very like good perspective on things."
Oh, they
And if
liked
I
it.
may say so, well, like we put in a lot of work into like the movement and the theatricality of it. Like we showed like all of these animals in like shadow play and stuff,
Yeah.
which I personally haven't ever heard Lihaf being done like that.
Yeah, man. And I think what was really cool was there were three of y'all, and all three of y'all had different roles throughout the whole
Roles.
process.
Yeah, we keep like playing different characters.
Yeah.
Although that is a device used in many other productions as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there, I mean, this will get into like a theater talk,
Go
but
for
like
it,
Peter
man.
Brook. So Peter Brook has like spoken about like how the biggest of productions size it down to 3 people, and if it can work with that, then sort of like start with that. That should be sort of your point of departure.
Peter Brook sounds like a very
essentialize.
peaceful name, no? Something about his name is really peaceful. Hey,
He's another sort of like theater dude from the UK, and he's actually done a version of Mahabharata.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is it like a play or what?
A play, yeah.
And if someone wants to watch that play, where can they watch it?
I mean, so they had come to NCPA sometime back. I had watched another production of his, again with 3 actors and a whole lot of musicians when I was in the UK. It was something, I forget what it's called, but it was about synesthesia and how this person is sort of like coming to terms with synesthesia.
What's synesthesia, man?
I knew you were going to ask me this, and I should have been better prepared. So synesthesia is basically, I think, like you end up. There are also lots of versions of it, and I wish there was someone who knew about it better because I read up about it after watching the play. But I think, like you end up seeing you're highly sort of sensitive to your surroundings. So, like you end up seeing like color coming out of a person's mouth. Like you see a person, you can actually see a color.
Yeah.
And that's they're highly sort of like artistic, sensual beings, and they like you'd never be able to tell, right? Just by looking at them.
Yeah.
Like I once met a guy who could actually see color coming out of a person's mouth, and this one time he was like in like when he was in college, he saw another guy, one of his friends in the cafeteria, and for some reason his like the color coming out of his mouth was like green, if I'm not mistaken. and he ended up committing suicide a couple of days later.
How are those two related though?
Because he usually sees like yellow or red or something coming out of people's mouth, but this time he had never
saw
seen
different
green
color. He said.
Yeah, like even he was surprised how come it's green.
Now, when he told you the story, was his friend already dead? It's a weird question.
Yeah, of course he was.
Right. So, well, even I could make that claim, right? Even I could make that claim that I see color coming out of your face.
Yeah, but I know you're full of bullshit, and this guy I believe.
So it's basically you're just believing him based on faith. Then.
You're like a flat earther who's like coked out on melatonin. How do we take you seriously?
Dude, you don't snort that shit, man. What are you talking about?
God knows what you do, man. We don't know what you do in your private time.
No, all I'm saying is
bloody melatonin party you're gonna have right now.
See, all I'm saying is this guy, whoever has synesthesia or whatever, he claims to see like color coming out of people's mouths.
So he claimed, he told me, and he usually doesn't tell people, but because I am quite a friendly guy and like people talk to me, he told me.
But how do you know if he doesn't say that to everyone, dude?
Because he was a friend of a friend, and that friend told me, "Oh, this is like this is a friend or whatever."
So that friend of a friend knew about his synesthesia.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not that exclusive. Like my point is, like he's told a whole bunch of other people.
Right? And that friend actually went out with him, so she like properly unless like for years he was like coming up with this whole scene about just to garner sympathy, which I doubt he would do.
See, I know some people who have that, but they're not making fun of this. They're actually schizophrenic. So there's this lady that in my bachelor's degree, when I was doing my bachelor's degree, she called my professor. She knew someone who was schizophrenic and who would have these really heavy schizophrenic episodes, and she would have visions in those schizophrenic episodes, and she would completely be completely catatonic, completely like laying out and stuff like that. And then she would go ahead and paint and make tattoos and like make art out of her visions. And when you saw them, they were mind-blowing. They were really beautiful.
Mind-blowing. So I once saw an exhibition of like art sculptures and like paintings and all somewhere again in the UK, all made by like people suffering from mental disorders. And they were the most gorgeous things that you've ever seen. And it's not like you need to know art or something. Just the minute you see it, you're like, oh my God, there's so much going on here.
Yeah, that's hard to define, man, because it's hard to... I guess you're so encoded in your everyday that when you meet someone who's out of the matrix, out of that social matrix, where people who are mentally challenged in different ways are definitely they're out of that social matrix, especially if you're like if you're someone on the spectrum, or if you have some kind of psychotic disorder
tendencies. But I mean, the purpose of art is, at least like I would like to think so, is sort of like, I mean, they say think outside the box. So is like sort of pushing the normal thought process in some sort of way or the other, hopefully for the betterment of society. But
I guess theater really focuses on
this is I guess what happens with like mental disorders and all, it happens without an awareness of what the person is doing.
Yeah, it's just normal to them.
How they sort of
So,
and they don't have any control over it. So the idea of like at least an actor would be sort of like letting yourself loose and having like that awareness of controlling back, so that you don't sort of like, so that if you have to play a murderer, you don't go out and start murdering people.
That must be tough, man.
Or like if you have to play a dead person, you don't have to like kill yourself to play a dead person.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, I had my friend Ishan actually talk about method acting. And he defined method acting as going from the outside in. But Varun defined method acting as basically visualizing a moment, like basically using cues.
Your own experience into,
So what is it?
So I've only done like workshops on method acting, but even I always thought it's like sort of using your own sort of experiences in life and trying to sort of juxtapose it against what you need to, the character that you're playing, is what I know it as.
Right.
But so that's the other thing with all these methods and stuff, right? Like some guy has sort of like come up with a system many years back. And obviously like these things, they're hard to sort of articulate and they're hard to like put down on paper.
Yeah.
So like somewhere down the line, it has sort of been lost in translation, I'm sure.
Right.
And whatever version of it, like if you're saying I'm learning Strasberg's method acting, teaching you also plays a very important part, and their experiences also sort of come onto the table when they're presenting it to you, right?
Yeah, because you don't generally like just pick up a book and act. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I mean, actors like are reading books on actors all the time.
Right. No, my point is like if you the most effective way to learn acting would be with a teacher, right? Or would it be with?
I would like to think so, but a lot of people sort of read it and then put it in your. I mean, the I think like for actors, above all, you have to sort of be malleable, and like no matter what situation, do whatever it takes that works, right?
That's crazy, man.
Hopefully, not kill yourself or people around you, or cause any harm. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's some.
But yeah, so I don't think there's a particular like method is only this, and even when you like. So like a sportsman, like he trains a lot, right? He'll try to bowl in this way and that way, and he'll try to bat in that way and this way. Mm-hmm. But when he's on the field, like he's not going to say, "Oh, now I'm going to maro this," or like the ball comes to me, I'm going to hit it like that. It's like you have to like really work with your instinct and just like let all of that then go.
Right.
But somewhere like that is coming in handy.
Right. What's tough for me, I have to envision. I completely agree with you that's what like I'm guessing I'm getting the whole repertoire thing with reference to acting as well, right? It's building your repertoire, identifying which situation to use what skill in, and then using that skill in that context.
So I mean, method acting, I suppose, since we're talking about it, doesn't
go for it, man.
entirely work for me either.
Oh, okay.
Because essentially, like, so if I'm supposed to be sad and my character is sort of mourning the loss of, I don't know, like of someone.
Yeah.
And like my side experience is, I sort of didn't fare well in an exam, right? Like they're two very different kinds of sadnesses. So again, I've not been very like well versed in it. So I mean, I don't know. Like I think there's a lot there, but just sort of like I think that for me, what like I strive to be is more like present in the moment and like put yourself in the character's shoes that you're like playing.
Right. But I've also seen you prepare a lot in different ways over the past few years. So that's definitely, if you're saying that there's no one particular way of doing that, I trust you because I know that you've probably gone through all the 100 ways of doing something.
I don't know. I've gone through like whatever I've had the opportunity to do, I've like taken up. Because also I'm a bit of a geek, and then it's exciting to sort of like know like what's out there, and I don't know, from the grassroots level, I wanted to figure out like what it is about acting and performing that really sort of like gets me excited.
Yeah,
and why do I want to sort of do it?
Dude, the weirdest, to be honest, like I've seen a lot of your performances, but when I'm saying weird, I'm saying like the most bizarre, but at the same time, possibly the most artistic performance I've ever seen of yours was this is all there is when all there is this.
I knew you were going to say that.
Dude,
so for like, people who don't know about it,
just explain it.
Okay, so it was based on this short film where people just come out, do a very mundane activity. So like a guy comes out, he fills a glass of water and he goes back in. And then slowly, different people come out, do their mundane activity and go back. And then at one point, it's almost like everyone's coming out doing their mundane activity and it's chaotic. So this is like, it's very like experimental art. So a lot of like what you receive from it is like, of course, a manifestation of your own experiences. And like there needs some sort of participation from the audience member as well to sort of put two and two things together. It's not linear. It's very sort of like, it is, the idea of it is to sort of like play around with space and time and like what kind of feeling does it like generate within you when you watch something like that, because it's quite chaotic, but then it's also very mundane. And then like things like, while we made it, a lot of like the chaos theory, butterfly effect, and all of those things sort of come up. But I think that particular production could have been more sort of honed. Like I think it was a bit quick like when we made it, but it had a very good sort of sentiment around it. And it does sort of, the idea of like, and I think most great sort of artists and all do look at experimental art to sort of just like to see what people are making and like push boundaries and like.
Yeah, man. When I was
Yeah,
watching it, dude, all I could see was like repetitive action. And you guys were doing it in such a way that I was getting kind of mesmerized. Like it was very meditative, right? When I was watching it happen, because it was very repetitive. Like you could predict what's going to happen next, because y'all were doing the same repetitive actions, but those actions didn't really make sense in terms of they didn't have like a coherent part of a story plot.
Yeah.
So I was like, these guys. So when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, these people are just doing repetitive action.
Yeah.
And that's because I was trying to not project my consciousness onto that, whatever I was watching. But when my friends who I went with, when I asked them, what did you see? Like, what did you think of it? One of them said they were having a family reunion or something, and the other one said that there was a lover's spat. So two of them took away completely different things from the same experience, and it was wild to see, man.
Yeah, and I think that's the more exciting part of it. Like once you present it, what people like garner from it.
Yeah,
because that sort of like completes the process. It's kind of like those ink blot tests, right?
Yeah, like a projective thing. Like you basically see something for any. The ink blot test is basically when you see something completely random, like an ink blot, and like people are asked to say what they see, and then a whole bunch of psychologists analyze that. But there are many repetitive things and other things as well where you can like kind of push your kind of interpret it. And that's what's awesome about art. And that's what I think you also appreciate after a while, because whenever I ask you, dude, what did that mean? And you always say, well, it meant whatever you wanted to mean.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Dude?
I mean, because like I think we're so conditioned to sort of being like, to having a linear experience and understanding of what is going on in a film or something. And of course, I mean, I don't blame them, because like, people are looking to create like 100 crore budgets and viewership, and so they have sort of like, they're kind of like bombarding you with, bombarding might be too strong a word, but with like, they're holding your hand and taking you through everything, right?
Yeah.
Because and in this experience, it's more of, you have to like really give yourself. You have to do a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What was the question again? I don't know what was.
My question was like, why is that so interpretive? Like, why do you have to interpret that piece? Like, whatever meaning that you make out of
at least all these productions, I mean, like, because there isn't a proper answer to it. It isn't like this is what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
And the exciting part is when you make something and people come up and tell you like stuff that you never even really thought of.
Yeah. Has that ever happened? What's the wildest interpretation you've received of a play?
Come on, I've done a whole lot of like experimental shit in the past. Most of you guys have come in like, what the fuck is going on? So that has really happened. The people like go really wild with interpretation.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
And that's fun. Honestly, like I spent a good part of my 20s like doing abstract stuff.
Dude,
and that was quite exciting. But then I'm also, as I'm growing old, I'm also realizing that, okay, you need to sort of like, it's fun for artists, I get, to watch stuff like this. But the layperson doesn't want to like have like done a whole day of work and then come and sit and sort of involve yourself. Not every day can you watch something like that.
I would want to do it, man. I really would want to do it.
But I don't think I can understand why everyone wouldn't want.
And everyone does.
So sometimes you need that sort of like Hollywood superhero blockbuster.
I think everyone should.
So I think like, make a bit of both.
I personally think everyone should go to
I
the theater.
Definitely think so, because it generally, scientifically, it's sort of like open pathways in your mind. So it's generally like making you more open as a person.
100%, man. If like the moment you actually go and watch someone perform something, usually when you see a performance, especially if it's at an established place, which has like a decent cast of people and has like a good storyline behind it, it's a very cathartic experience, because like most of these even those the most abstract thing that I've seen, like the most abstract thing that I saw of yours was where there was a black backdrop, where there was a table, everyone was wearing one of those black unitards, and you all were acting like you were driving cars and you were holding dinky cars, and you're given those cars characters, and you were not actually using any words. There was only sound effects that you all were making. and those were like car sound effects, kind of thing.
Yeah. So that was
that was
actually,
really abstract.
That was an object
But it
theater
had-
piece. That was like the life and the story of a car.
Yeah, and dude, that had a lesson.
Yeah.
And I remember halfway through, I was like, this is so bizarre. This is so bizarre. But there was a point where right after halfway through, like on the 35th or the 40th minute, I was like, holy shit, this is actually a story. Like, it's not just random bullshit. Like, there's actually, like, I can see a story unfold about a human being in that car. And that may or may not be by design. The reason I'm seeing that
designed. Like, so the idea of like object theater is also sort of like humanizing sort of objects around us, right? And that particular production was about like, that how sort of then you could get into consumerism and how sort of like objects are just like changed by the day and stuff like that. But that was it's precisely like the intention meant to be. That like you then while you're watching it, suddenly like you realize, and object theater as a theatrical form is used a lot to sort of make political statements actually, because like then you can sort of use these things and not take names or something, but still like share the sentiment of what you want to.
Have you seen any controversial, I don't want to say controversial, but have you seen any really critical drama pieces aligned to that?
I think the theater is like a niche industry, right?
Right.
Like it's a small scale industry. So like, the idea for them is to talk about these things that generally like mass audiences don't talk about, right?
Right.
Of course, in these times, people's temperaments are quite like edgy. So the things that you talk about are sort of filtered.
Yeah.
And not everything is sort of appreciated.
Yeah.
But like generally, like theater writers, playwrights, and all like are always talking about a lot of things that people would generally not talk about.
For example?
Yeah, why are you hell-bent on making this polemic?
All I'm saying is, all I was asking you, but I understand that you don't want to talk about it. Did you hear what happened to that comedian, man?
Which
the mob came after her, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that?
So now, yeah.
There was some...
So that's what I'm saying. Like, people are so sort of sensitive these days.
I think, you know what? I don't think she should have taken that shit down, man. Because people were getting behind her.
She was getting rape threats and whatnot. Like, I don't think it's we don't know what she was going through.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, I don't blame her for taking it down, but
yeah, and then when you have family and all, you don't want to sort of, you're not like a Krantikari here.
No,
you're
man.
sort of making a joke in
I feel like that one,
and it goes out of.
I feel like that.
And the thing is, these people.
Sorry about that, man. Skype is a weird medium. I said I feel like this weird medium. I felt like that joke was terrible. It was a horrible joke.
Yeah, but there's nothing sort of like she didn't say anything against anyone.
No, she didn't say anything against anyone. The joke itself was bad. It was a bad joke.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that one bad joke got her more traction than any other joke she's probably ever said. Right?
Yeah.
She should just run with it, man. That would be her. Look at what Kunal Kamra did, man. He leaned into that shit. He's like, yeah, I'm anti-him.
No. The Kunal Kamra is more sort of activist comedian. So, but like, we don't know what she's gone through. But they broke down the place and stuff, yeah. I don't think she was enjoying this or being like, yes, let's use this for publicity.
Yeah,
if anyone was using this for publicity, it was the sort of goons, then their little like organization.
Yeah.
Because that's their only claim to fame, right? And then they'll catch other famous people and be like, let's sort of ride on your popularity. That's the only way we can get known.
Yeah, that's...
But the good news out of this whole thing was like the guys who were sort of giving her rape threats and all, and some of them got arrested.
No, of course.
And it happened quite prompt. So that was quite a sigh of relief, because it's terrible. Because if you can't like laugh nowadays, anyway, it's so difficult for people to laugh. And then if you're going to sort of like bring this sort of intolerance, aggression to communities that are trying to make people laugh.
I was speaking to a comedian on the podcast earlier, and I was like, bro, how it must get probably very difficult for you to actually try out any new joke which is controversial, because he had one joke up which was really controversial. It's going to be completely difficult for him to do.
how do you sort of like, then you're just like making your Panju Gujju like vanilla jokes about knock knock, who's there, then that's all you're going to get.
It's already started happening, man. There have been times where I've gone and people are like, some guy is trying to say something edgy, but then it's not coming off, and then I can see them retreat. I've seen that at live performances and things like that, man. People don't.
I mean, a bad joke is still one thing, but like sort of like giving rape and murder threats against someone for making a joke,
that's a little too extreme. That's too extreme.
It is quite extreme. And I mean, I think world over, people sort of like patience level is really erratic.
Yeah, people are getting annoyed. The fact that they're home, man. People are getting enraged and shit. People are like, what the fuck is...
Which is bound to happen, like, yeah.
Yeah, man. They have nothing to do. They're like... Even I found myself, like, watching more news than regular just because I'm home. Like, earlier I would not...
I've sort of, like...
You've gone monk
I sort
mode?
of, like, cut down on news. Not completely, but, like, I keep... I mean, it plays in the house all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can't escape it, right? So, but I keep, like, I don't do too much.
What's... do you watch like...
Because it drives you pretty crazy.
Do you watch Arnab?
Oh God. It plays every day at home.
Arnab?
But yeah.
Who watches it?
Because he's exposing apparently SSR.
Who's SSR?
Sushant Singh Rajput.
Oh yeah, man.
It's, yeah, like it sounds very sketchy, the whole thing.
It sounds really
sketchy. And like, honestly, like the way it's been reported is also not very in good taste, I would say. But yeah, let the law do its action, and I have faith that they will.
Yeah, because people like he was being
really like
people like he's being threatened. He was being threatened. This was actually a murder which was pushed off as a suicide.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with the way things are going now, like I think there's a lot of like people's own sort of benefits, especially people, the ones who are sort of speaking about it.
Yeah,
they're speaking up for like their own benefit, and we might not ever know the truth.
That's
because
true.
Of all the things that are sort of
because all of these spin, all of the spin that they've put on this whole story, is it?
Yeah, and then now, yeah, and I mean, yeah,
that's nuts, dude.
I think, yeah, we just have to wait and watch what is.
But do you think Bollywood has nepotism though?
Bollywood definitely does, but like, what industry doesn't have nepotism? I think, of course, Bollywood, and rightly so, is coming under the scanner because, like, I mean, they're public sort of personalities, right? Like today, I mean, so, you know, there's this junction, this train junction,
yeah,
where like at one point in the day, like some three from out of town come and like, so there's a vada pav seller sitting there,
yeah,
and he has like in a day, like the business goes in lakhs.
In lakhs?
Yeah, that kind of business. So I was actually like considering like, let me put like some money in, and like, if there's a vada pav seller, you also like put a bhel puri wala. Of course, I'm not so enterprising, but another friend was, and I was going to do it with him. So I was like, yeah, you might as well put a sandwich wala, bhel puri wala, give him a little like cart, and like, of course, the guy making it, he also takes a percentage, you also take a percentage. But turns out he's got full monopoly over that area. He'll make sure no one else sort of like comes into that thing.
Obviously, there's lakhs at stake.
That's also, yeah, that it's his business at stake.
Right.
So that's also nepotism, right?
No, that's not exactly nepotism. That's
I mean,
monopolizing
using your place of power to sort of make sure that other people don't have an opportunity.
So nepotism essentially is giving, from what I understand of nepotism, is basically giving someone that you have, like who's related to you.
And then he has a son whose son is also educated, this vada pav seller.
Yeah.
But the son is sort of going to take over the business.
Right. Yeah, so that is.
I mean, as a side.
Yeah, that's absolutely not okay.
That is nepotism.
Right.
But I guess everyone does. I mean, that's.
Right.
Essentially, I mean, like, yeah, monarchies are giving nepotism.
That's not the same as Bollywood though, because Bollywood is a legal industry. Selling vada pav on the road is illegal. You're not doing that under the sanction of the law, right? You're doing that in a different space. So it's not really the same thing. It would be the same thing if I were to hire, like if I had a public limited company and I hired my son to be the next CEO.
The next CEO.
Right. Which is...
But I mean, yeah, like Bollywood in that sense is not a public limited company. I mean, these sort of public limited companies are entering the picture, but for years it's not been. It's been sort of like a family business.
Right. And that's actually really messed up because
I mean, it is what it is. Does it stop people? Like, people still sort of work around it, and even like star kids have their own sort of like struggle that they have to make.
yeah, but it's not the same as a struggle that a guy who's completely unknown coming from a different city who's got talent but doesn't have connections, who's looking to make it big in the city. It's not the same struggle,
Mm.
right?
It's a different set of struggles.
Yeah, and it's an unfair
And
struggle,
I
right?
genuinely believe you can't sort of like make it there until you've not sort of really pushed yourself.
No, that's absolutely true. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. All I'm saying is
Mm.
that if someone's going to get an unfair leg up by virtue of their relationships,
Yeah,
that's not fair, man.
that's not fair, but it's not a fair world.
No, it should be a fair world. We should work towards it.
It should.
I mean,
It should. I mean,
ideally,
and
those kinds
honestly,
of rules
the
and
way
that
we're going,
kind
I
of
think we're becoming a more unfair world as we go.
yeah, and that's
In,
something I think that's why people are pissed off about it. That's why there's a
yeah,
deep amount of mistrust of these systems. And
yeah,
at one level, it's nepotism in Bollywood, but at another level, it's the nepotism that they've seen a lot of the niche and the elite have for a long period of time in our country. So there have been a lot
hmm,
of examples and times where rich people have been just passing the buck to kid after kid, and our middle class individuals who are pretty large
is suffering. Yeah.
have seen like that level of nepotism go on from generation to generation, and I think people are getting
Hmm,
pissed off at that. And I think very
hmm.
rightly so, their anger is coming out in Bollywood, but it might be an anger that everyone else holds.
It is an anger. Like, I'm not saying it's not, but it's also a very sort of like short-lived sort of like reactionary anger. I mean, because then we have to
Hmm.
also it's you can't just say,
Yeah,
oh, only the people in privilege are to be blamed for nepotism, because if anyone were in their position, they'd do the same
they would
thing.
do the same
Why
thing.
would anyone say no? Why would Karan
Hmm.
Johar say, oh, I want to create equal opportunity from everyone? He wants to work with the people he wants to work
That's
with.
true. So
So it's going to, like, if you, I mean, their anger is justified, and even I'm sort of like, the fact that I didn't get to like audition for things and like be considered for parts that I would have loved to play. Of course, that has angered me in the past, but like, you have to sort of introspect in that you can't just sort of. It is quite a complex scenario.
it is a
It's not
complex
as simple
scenario.
as like hold these people to ransom and then that's fine.
No, it's
Because okay, fine. Instead of them, someone else will come and then they'll still do the same thing, right?
right. No, it's the I think also the frustration, which I don't know. I've spoken to a few of my friends who are actors. I'm not in the industry. I'm just talking.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
a lot of my friends who are angry at this whole situation, their major
Hmm.
beef was that these like for a long time you've been in the industry for what 12 years now, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these people when they're starting out, they've been told that your first few years you have to pay your dues and do a lot of shit for free and do a lot of shit at negative pay. You're actually paying money to fucking access
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah. Yeah.
opportunities. And then they're told that okay, now there's a lot of competition. But then I was actually told by a friend the actual experience of going out and auditioning as an actor, right? It completely changed the
Hmm.
way I look at rejection, man. Because my friend told
Yeah.
me that as an actor you're lined up like 100 people, sorry, not 100 people, but
Yeah.
whoever's
Yeah.
there, you're literally made up you're put in a line, and you're told
And then they go
you
fit,
do
not fit.
not
Yeah.
sorry, you guys don't fit, like it's some kind of weird fucking twisted game show, but that's your life and that you're doing every day,
That's.
right? And you're doing that day in and day out, four
Yeah.
times 5 times a day, right? You're facing that level of
Yeah.
rejection. But if here's the thing, if
Yeah.
you're facing that level of rejection in a fair system, it's a completely different thing. But you're facing that rejection in an unfair system, people are bound to be pissed off.
That's. I mean, that wouldn't happen in a fair system to begin with. And I think, like, sure, like, even I've sort of been idealistic in my early 20s and been like, yeah, we need to have a utopian where we can work towards a fair world. But, like, at some point, you have to say, yeah, things are not fair. And what do we, like, how do we maneuver
That's tough,
around it?
man.
And of course, when, like, learn these things, because when you are in a position to call out the shots, you sort of make decisions that would not be too unfair. because I'm sure at some point, like even you were doing, like, I mean, we all also have had a good education, gone abroad, like studied and stuff. That's not fair for a person who's studying under a street light. And right, like 2 lanes around me, there's a garden where I see people studying every day. So that's also, I mean,
See, that may not be equitable, right? But you're still equal. You haven't restricted that individual's opportunities by accessing an.
I think we have.
How?
Because I've got like the best teachers to teach me. I've got like the way I'm studying in an air-conditioned room and stuff like that. And this guy has had to put in a lot more struggle. But has it stopped people from topping the exam or whatever? No. So like I think the person who does want to, of course, it's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair at all.
Right.
But like so much in this world is not fair.
That's true.
And we are also sort of part of that problem. We are also doing things to other people that is not fair.
Okay, so supposing that kid, let's take up that example. So supposing that kid that you're talking about, right, decided to apply to the same school that you and I went to, right?
He couldn't afford the fees, no?
So, right. So you're saying that access is restricted from a very young age, and there's unfairness everywhere.
Yeah. And like, I mean, and even for the star kids and stuff, like from the like time you're born, like you're decided what this guy is going to do.
Yeah.
Like even for star kids, it's like, actor banega ki director. It's, of course, it's a more glamorous field to be in.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot more mental baggage, if you ask me, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not fair. Not at all.
Yeah.
But it's like for it to change, it's not like you can just say, okay, I'm going to boycott this actor's films and suddenly it'll change.
Yeah. Yeah, not at all, man. No. I think legally, like, I think we need to, like, I just think that we had this whole Hindu undivided family law a while back. And like that actually, I think that sowed the seeds for nepotism. We've got.
What is the Hindu undivided law?
So we have like basically we have laws that, and I'm not. I know fuck all about this. I just want to say before I get into it that I know jack shit about it. I don't know. I know enough as much as a bottle of water knows about this particular situation.
But then now you're going on to like saying it's the seed of nepotism is this law.
I'm just guessing because in most Indian families, a lot of our business traditions are brought down from one generation to the next. The whole culture of whole culture of someone else, like your kid doing something different, is a very odd culture. Like it's always been stable. Do what your dad does if he's an entrepreneur, or go into certain set popular professions. If not, right?
If not, that's
So but in that situation, like if supposing that's like if you know at least 10 people around you whose kids have taken up the family business. So the whole idea of a high-performing employee taking over the family business sounds absolutely insane to you and me. Saying, what sense does that make?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense.
That makes no sense.
But there are places in this world that are meritocracies, right? Let's say if you're as good as you can be, and it might not apply for all family businesses everywhere, but once a business gets large enough, it is counter tradition. Like for example, I think the Tatas did that. The Tatas took a call saying, do we want someone within our family who we want to take the reins? And I think they walked out deciding that they want someone in their community to take the reins instead. I think that's the negotiation they made. But I think they were moving away from the nepotistic culture, etc., etc. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
I mean, it's still like your community. It's still nepotism.
So, here's the thing.
Rightly so. I don't see the problem. Like, I mean, of course, it's not fair. But like,
no,
would I have done something different if I were in that position? I don't know.
And I think the larger question is, are there laws actually preventing that kind of behavior? Because that is malpractice.
So then, I mean, this would then come into the question of like quota system, like in India, right? Like there's a reservation for OC, OBC. So are you suggesting
No.
like even Bollywood has like a quota system in that
No,
sense?
there's an alternative.
Because then the quota system is also like has its set of pros and cons.
You're creating. It seems to no. So yeah. So listen. So
Huh.
yeah. So one alternative is whatever system that exists. Another alternative possibly. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. I know other countries that work by this system is saying that we want like whatever selection system you use should not be biased towards any one social category or group. So if you're using a selection system, it's more complicated for acting, yes, but for a regular job like an accountant, right? A very common question that you get in India when you're an accountant or when you're applying for a job is, hey, what do your parents do? What do your mom and dad do, right? Where are you from? Where do you stay? Those kinds of questions are actually asked to identify your class, your where you stand in the social hierarchy.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course.
And those kinds of questions in selection interviews and things like that, I think are also kind of driving the inequality and the that you're talking about, right? That kid not being able to get that seat. Based on the lack of merit. So I'm not suggesting that you have quotas, but I'm suggesting that you have certain selection metrics which are equal, which select equally from across
so going to what you're saying, I mean, just by virtue of our name, it's already sort of like putting us into a box, right? And creating that kind of system.
Yeah.
So it's yes, in a utopia that is great, but well,
it's actually it's reality for a lot of places. Just by the way, it's reality for a lot of places.
Can you give an example?
United States, Canada, Australia.
Like how is it? Like what do they do?
They have a law called they have a set of laws called the Equal Employment Opportunity laws. And the basis of that is that there will be no discrimination based on race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, disability, national origin, these various criteria. And the basic idea is that the way you select, so if supposing someone meets the criteria for a job, so basically the law requires that you state in detail what the job it is that you're looking for. So what is the knowledge, skill and ability that you're looking for in a job? And once that's established, you hire people at that level. So if they meet the criteria of the job, you would hire them. And then there's also...
But how do they assure like fairness into that process?
Just coming to that. So there's also something called adverse impact calculation. I don't want to get into much detail of that, but basically their premise is they look at your selection decisions that you made based on social factors. So they look at groups of people and the rate at which you've selected them. And if your rate of selection of one group is extremely high, right? For example, if a lot of whites are being selected for jobs disproportionately as compared to blacks in terms of ratio, that's not allowed. Like the people who are disadvantaged in this condition can actually take the person to court. Now, I don't. One thing which I would love to know from you, and is how do you think? To what extent do you think? How many people have you seen in the film industry who've made it like on their own? Like in terms of, do you think it's a meritocracy?
Made it to the top on their own?
Or wherever.
See, the thing is like made it, I mean, I know a lot of people who sort of like dabbled around and sort of like are doing work that sort of like keeps them going and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's there. But like, I think the question also here, what we're looking at is the minute you want to be like the top Bollywood, the next Shah Rukh Khan, and that in any field, like then if you're like really swimming with the big shark, then no one's going to easily let you get there. It's really going to require a lot of sort of nudging and like hustling to be there. It's not. I think whether you are star kid or not, of course, star kids have that easier. But yeah, it's like in any sort of competitive field,
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, man.
It's not. No one's sort of going to come to the top like that.
That's some tough shit, man.
And then once you do come to the top, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure no one else comes, right? Because you've gone through so much shit yourself. Why would you like? Why would I then be at the top and say no? Now let me sit and make it a fair world.
I don't think
that
that's
guy
true,
never
man.
had it fair
Most
coming up.
people who I know who are uber successful are more than
Huh.
happy helping other people, man.
Helping is different, but like helping your own competition.
Yeah, that is true. That's a very tough thing you said. But it's also true that to a very large extent that once someone opens the gate for power, it's very hard to then like get them to give
Yeah.
away that power.
Because I mean, this kind of power is also sort of like playing on like the greed and the kind like within you, right? So it's and I think
Yeah.
Bob Marley said there's enough for everyone, but there's not enough for everyone's greed.
That's true, man. That's some true shit, dude. Bob Marley.
So, but these are again, like, I guess they're like human qualities that we all have to sort of face and sort of learn from. Hopefully, use it in ways that we don't
Yeah, man. It's
destroy stuff.
Some tough stuff, dude.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be a fun conversation where we're going to laugh. But this is great.
Yeah, bro. I don't know if we can have fun. You've been gulping that water down like God knows what, dude.
Yeah, so I normally, this is my time of like, I drink a liter of water in the morning, right?
A liter of water in the morning?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a good time to drink water. Just when I get up, I drink a liter.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't end up drinking water because I was like busy doing household chores and stuff and getting ready to come here.
That's
so
crazy,
this was, I thought I'd use this time to hydrate.
That makes sense, dude. You should hydrate. I've been having this, I don't know if I've told you about this, but I've been having this one kind of coffee in the morning, which is insane.
First thing you do is get up and have coffee?
No, first thing I do is get up and have some water. But then I have some coffee.
Yeah, so that's what they say. You shouldn't have coffee on an empty stomach.
Who's they?
It it's said, yeah. It doesn't, it like screws around with your stomach lining and stuff.
So I have like bulletproof. I don't know if that like I understand.
The bulletproof is coconut oil and
a variant of like MCT and.
I normally love these things, but bulletproof is somehow I've not got myself to like it.
It's amazing, man.
Like the coconut makes it so
like.
So
you don't put coconut oil in it. You put MCT oil, which is an extract of coconut oil. You don't put coconut oil.
Okay.
Coconut oil itself doesn't give you like basically the whole idea is that the fat should go straight to your brain, like break the blood-brain barrier and energize your brain. And MCT oil does that. So not so much coconut oil.
Oh really? I've never. So I've had it upside and I've never like gotten a heck.
Dude, the next time I'm home, I'll make you some. I'll either get it from here or I'll order it because you also get it in India. So MCT oil you get on Amazon. You can see. Yeah, for like I think $700 or $800. It's amazing. It tastes brilliant. It tastes really nice. And then put some cinnamon in it, whip it with black coffee. It's the best. It tastes so nice. I get like 2 hours of energy. It's insane. Doesn't dehydrate you. It's brilliant.
A cup of coffee, but yeah.
Ooh, yeah, man.
The connection is a bit loose.
Do you want to pause for a second then?
No. What's the publicity? Trailer is coming out in half an hour.
Did you say the trailer of your show is released? Did you say that the trailer of your show is releasing?
In half an hour.
In half an hour? What show are you doing?
Flesh. Have I spoken to you about Flesh?
No, you haven't told me about your show, man.
Of course I've told you about it. I shot for it like some time back and then things got delayed and it's finally here. And they gave out a teaser yesterday and today the trailer is going to be out. It has Swara Bhaskar in it. It's produced by Eros Now.
What's the show about?
It's about human trafficking.
Flesh.
Yeah. Like the flesh trade. Did you know 99% of victims of human trafficking never get rescued?
I didn't know the exact percentage, but that sounds about right, man. That sounds like...
and quite shockingly right.
Yeah, I mean, just given the fact that most of the people who have been trafficked have been like probably trafficked by like it's sad, but a family member or loved one or someone who's basically in a desperate situation, kind of like relinquishing responsibility of that child. That's something. But what is your show about exactly then in that realm?
So watch the trailer in half an hour. It'll be out on
Yeah, I'll
social media,
link
but
it.
it's I shall. But it's about that. It's about like a particular case, and I work undercover in the police department, and we're sort of like tracking down this one case that then sort of
Ooh.
leads you to the larger racket.
Oh.
It's quite exciting. It's by the writer of Andhadhun.
Oh, nice, dude. That was a kick-ass movie,
So
man. So it's going to
yeah, and if it's written damn well,
so
and it was a kick-ass team as well.
so
So I'm quite excited to finally see what it's turned out to be.
yeah, it's going to have a lot of twists and turns, I'm guessing then.
Yeah, and very like the minute I had the narration, I was like, oh wow, this is crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude, that must be insane, dude.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And where can I see it if I want to see it? Like when it comes out?
Eros Now.
Eros Now.
It releases. Watch the trailer in half an hour, and you will get more details. Eros Now has its own portal.
Oh, nice. How can I get it from across the world? Is it available everywhere?
I think you should have the Eros Now app or like. Oh, I think they have a tie-up with Apple TV and Geo TV and stuff like that.
Nice. No, I was just wondering if you can send me a bootleg copy, bro.
Why would I do that? And how would I do that? In this time of pandemic, I'm going to fucking like email you or send you just watch it on the thing.
No, I will definitely watch it. I'll 100%. I don't care where I'm going to.
Apple TV. I'm sure you have Apple TV.
I have Apple TV. I'll
TV.
probably get it. I'll watch it for sure. You should have actually led with that. I was trying to get like
I was going to, and then we got into like a lot of things. I was like, yeah. I'm going to like promote my show today.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I know exactly where this moment is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this back and I'm going to make a clip out of this and I'm just going to say Rohit Mehra talks about his upcoming show and I'm going to put it on my channel and I'm going to put it on another clips channel and then we'll be good to go.
Oh, great.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, in half an hour, so like, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Did you audition for this or what?
I auditioned for it a while back, and then yeah.
So when did you like shoot it? Did you shoot it during the pandemic?
I shot it over all of last year actually, because like I'm there at many different points. So every like 2 months I had like a little bit of shooting.
You're so secretive, man.
It's all over social media. Why would I be secretive about this?
I have never heard of this.
So I shot for it a while back, but it's finally getting out.
Nice. And it's like it's a season or like 2 seasons or 3 seasons?
So as of now, a season. Watch the season. And then we'll talk about season 2. As of now, it's one season.
But it's obviously going to get continued because you're in it and it's awesome.
Yeah, no, but like
how many episodes? I'm definitely going to watch it. 100%, I'm going to watch it. How many episodes in the season?
In the 8, I think
7 or 8. To sounds kick-ass, man. Was it? This was your first show, right?
Well, this would be my sort of debut into web
shows. I mean, it's a show. I mean, it's just that now the medium is changing, but it's a legit, like it's a complete show then.
Yeah, it's a complete show. Totally legit.
Fuck. Did you have like your own van and shit?
Or how was that,
man? Did people ask you like, oh, what would you like inside your van?
I mean, like, yeah, like the regular stuff like tea and like green tea and shit like that. Yeah. And then of course set ka khana is there, but like nothing fancy, not like white lilies and all. I wasn't getting any of that shit.
So
and I think if I demand that bit, I'm going to fuck off.
Hey, no man, they're gonna say we'll get you what you want, 100%. So
I'm sure,
100%, man. There's no way. A lot of these artists and stuff, you know what they do? Have you heard of this one random thing? It's called a random clause. So in the contract, right?
Huh.
What they do is they in their contract signing thing, they always ask for one random thing which is completely berserk. Like I think there was this one band that would ask for only brown M&Ms. Right?
Yeah,
Like
a lot of like music rock stars do this. But what is the reason behind that?
so apparently they do this to do two or three things. One is to check how vigilant they were at reading it. The second is to actually check whether or not they understood, and also to test whether or not they respect the band enough. And like the third is also to get some clout, because when they give you that van, they're actually then thinking about, okay, how do I get this guy brown fucking M&Ms? It's something which is super annoying, super specific. But in getting you that one thing, it's kind of like you're asserting dominance over this this individual.
So this is So now this is also a very unfair world. Just saying, very legal, very well. Like I mean, we'd all probably do it if we were in their position. I'm already thinking of what kind of like random clause I can think of.
What are you
but it's
thinking
not
of,
fair.
Dude, I mean, it's fair in that you got to that position. I'm sorry I'm making it serious, but it's fair in that you got to that position on your own merit. Right? You worked for 12 years for you to actually be ready for such an opportunity where you know how to please the directors in terms of what they want. You're professional as fuck. You're an amazing fucking actor. It took time. So you put in, that's a meritocracy, right? That's what I was saying. Anyway, my point was, what was going to be your random thing?
What would be my random clause? That's a good question. I don't know. I've never even thought I'd need to like put like these random clauses in contracts. But brown M&M sounds good. Why I said white lilies is because I knew Justin Bieber when he came to India, he wanted white lilies. And he wanted a jacuzzi. I would ask for a jacuzzi. That's cool. No, I'd actually want like sort of not air freshener, but maybe a particular kind of like oil essence or
keep
something.
going. We're listening. I think you could definitely.
There's this from Pondicherry. You get this like Palmer Rosa, like essential oil made out of like the real ones. It's really good. Maybe I'll put that into my clause.
Yeah, you should totally do that next time. Just like when you're drawing up the contract, say, can I get that? And you know where you stand. If in a few minutes the person says, "Arey, tumko itna acha lagta hai, to tum kyun nahi khud le aate?"
But I don't know. Like, would it like? I don't know if I'd be a bit too sort of like uncomfortable making someone so like run around for.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like that's why it's such a dominant move, right? Because most people would be like, I don't want to be most people would be like, I don't want to be an asshole by actually asking for all this shit. But if you got enough clout, if you're big enough, people will be like, yeah, like then you're thinking, and then it's like saying, oh, dude, we have Justin Bieber. He wants white lilies. Yeah, fuck, it's Justin Bieber, man. Get him like 2,000 white lilies if he wants, because he's fucking Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? So the whole idea is that it's a flex.
Yeah, and I heard like he like got them to arrange all of this jacuzzi, this, that, and he didn't even like go into it.
Yeah, it's a flex. It's basically like a...
But then it's such a like, I don't know, then the part of my brain would go like such a waste of resources, right? Especially like with the way like world is going, people aren't getting food to eat, and then you're sort of like arranging this like luxury room for yourself.
So, that's true. That is true, man. People aren't getting food to eat. My mom always uses the analogy, there's always some kid in there's always some third world country which is worse than your own country, which moms cite as an example. So my mom used to always
Africa.
say, my mom used to always say Africa. I'm sure in like some place there'll be like some kid in India, and I'm sure like somewhere in Africa someone would be citing some other country, right? There's Ethiopia or something, I don't know. But there's always I think Ethiopia is part of Africa. Don't want to
Ethiopia is part of Africa, and like Ethiopia is actually quite a cool place to go to.
Really?
It has very pretty women.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And it makes a lot of like cocoa and like chocolate, but you don't actually get it there apparently.
I've actually eaten Ethiopian food. It's tasty as fuck, man.
Oh yeah, food is also yum.
It's very nice. It's very much like dude, do you know that? So okay, let me ask you this. Who do you think invented samosas, bro?
Oh, I know this one. It's come from It's come from Afghanistan down to India? No.
Dude, I don't know. I really don't know, because I've seen a version of
I've read
samosa in
something about
every culture,
samosas.
man. I've seen a version of samosa in, of course, Afghanis. You go to Dubai, you'll find some version of samosa. In Ethiopia, there's samosa as well. It's called sambusa.
Ah,
It's crazy. It's obviously
eh,
like not wrapped in aloo. It's wrapped in meat, beef,
yeah.
but it's still.
You just drove the Hindu Bhakts away with your comment.
No, I'm just saying it's got different kinds of meat in it, man. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, every culture in the world doesn't have the same kind of respect or same kind of ethics that we do. It's just it is what it is, man. But yeah, but they don't have different kinds of sauces though. They just have that sambusa, the little tiny little fucking thing. I still like our Indian samosas the best though.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had a samosa in 5 months.
Dude, same here, man. I've not had it in like 6 months, 7 months.
Oh no, I had a keema samosa that was like those refrigerated ones.
Oh, those don't taste so good.
It did the job, but like not like I haven't had like a tasty samosa in months.
You know what I love the best?
Oh man,
a samosa. Wow.
Oh, of course.
Dude, carbs.
But it's like carb overload, man.
It's carbs on top of carbs, and it's
a deep fried carb on like baked carb on like.
And there's carbs
So
inside.
I had that. Remember outside school we had that vada pav guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And he used to.
We used to like, and dabba walas, we used to pay them and tell him to get.
And he was kind of like shy. He sounds like sometimes he'd show up, sometimes he wouldn't. Or sometimes we get access to him and
Oh yeah, he wasn't all. No, I think he wasn't always like, he must have not always had the stuff. It must have got over by our lunch.
Yeah. But what I love about that kind of samosa pav, man, is that chutney, the spicy chutney. Have yourself
yum.
Spicy, like a spicy chili. Bite into that chili, bite into the samosa. Best feeling ever, man.
Do you get samosa pav there?
No, you can buy the frozen stuff, but I don't generally eat frozen food. And also, like, samosas are fucking unhealthy, man. As much as I love them, they're really unhealthy.
Yeah. But, I mean, not having a samosa for 5 months feels really, like, wrong.
That is a lot. That is a lot of time. That's a lot of time. But you haven't had it for 5 months either, man. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. I've not had it for 5 months.
You can get access to that stuff.
Now I can't. We're not eating outside food.
Not at all?
Very minimal. We're like cooking at home itself.
Yeah, man. You're saying that your help has left. Is it weird that you have to do household chores now?
Oh, dude, don't ask. This is day one. So we started off, like, I don't even know if I should give out this information, but we started off the pandemic with 3 help at home.
That's nice, okay? Man.
One guy had a baby, one guy, some family member was ill, and the third, the bloody nincompoop, decided, now he wants to go. He didn't stay one day after the other 2. So he's also gone.
Wow.
So now this is day 1 of us doing. I've literally, last night, all I did was vessels. This morning I got up, I was like, I'll do the bartan before I get onto this. And all I did was bartan.
Yeah. Something about running your own household makes you efficient about using vessels and shit, man.
Shit. No, I actually enjoy running. The only thing I don't like doing is vessels.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm fine with everything. Like, I don't even mind like cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not cleaning it every day, hopefully. But like, I don't mind like jharu, pocha. I love doing all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't love doing it, but I can like find my sort of like peace with it, and like, the satisfaction of once it's done is quite rewarding.
Yeah, it's surprising,
and especially when it's done by yourself.
Yeah, it's surprising the number of systems we've set up in our country which assume that we're going to always have help. For example, we don't have many vacuum cleaners. We don't when we.
But I mean, there is an abundance of help. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I'm just pointing that fact out. So like for example, like we've assumed, like all our houses are always usually open because of that dust comes in. We don't have vacuum our vacuum cleaners. We don't have that system of vacuum cleaners wiping with the mop.
Yeah, I was looking at like buying vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty happy doing it on my own.
Have you heard of that Roomba? You should get a Roomba, man.
Which one?
You should get a Roomba.
That thing that goes round and round?
Yeah, that machine that
and you just like let it loose.
House. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of that. Someone told me about it.
You should, dude.
But I'm pretty happy doing the jharu pocha myself.
It's day 1, right?
Yeah. And to be fair, I haven't done jharu today.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's no way you can do it every day, man. So we have
Yeah,
we have a cleaning
but I
lady
don't
who
think you
comes
need to
once
do
a
it every
sorry.
day. I don't think you need to do it every day.
Well, it depends on how open your house is. If your house is closed, then yeah, you can get away with it. But if your house is open, then you probably need to do it every day. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So we have a cleaning lady that comes in once a month, and she hadn't come in through the whole pandemic. So she came in
Yeah, obviously.
last few
She's still
weeks.
coming.
No, she came in a few weeks back, and my landlord said, she's coming, but she didn't end up coming. But my roommate assumed that she was coming, and
So he went
every
in.
time she comes, what he does is he goes ahead and goes wild, cooking the biggest the biggest khana khazana like thing. Makes a fuckload of Indian dishes and leaves all of them piled up in the sink because he knows that she's going to come by and clean them. Like that's his way of treating himself. And he did that, and I was like, "Sorry, man, she's not coming today." He's like, "Fuck my life. I have to wash this stuff all by myself." I was like, "All right, man."
And so, what are your how was your day today? What do you do?
Oh, my day's all right, man. My days are in general are all right. I think I think we've also kind of run out of stuff to talk about. It's 2:15 in the night. Um, Rohit,
Huh.
did you drop your phone while you were stretching?
Yeah.
I lost you for a bit there. I think you dropped your phone or whatever. But anyway, man, thank you so much for this conversation,
Yes.
dude. I think it's been a while.
Thanks a lot.
I'm getting a little exhausted. Just
Also,
because
yeah, my
it's
trailer
long.
releases in 10 minutes, so I want to be the first to watch it.
Ooh, yeah, I'm just going to link to that trailer. And the show's called...
Totally do that. Guys, please watch
Yeah, I'm definitely going to link it.
and watch the show.
People can actually go check out the trailer in the description box. And thank you so much, man. More power to you. And
Thanks,
this was
man.
a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, it really was a lot of fun.
All right, dude. Thank you so much, bro. Speak to you
man.
soon.
Good night. Yeah, speak to you soon. Take care. See you guys.
Bye.